Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Knifey here, and today I wanted to talk about the Necromancer build, specifically the Plaguemancer and the Bonemancer, aka Boner, so some people say. Anyways, these are all poison and bone skills, and so basically, the Necro, he can use the same exact gear, same exact everything is the same for these two builds except for the skills, which I will show the difference in just a second here. Anyways, so let's just go ahead and jump right into the skills here, because we're going to be starting with the Plaguemancer. So this is poison. I prefer the poison build over the magic, over the bone build, because poison is it's just more fun. I don't know how to explain it, but magic is also really fun, especially using Bone Spirit, because it's like a guided missile. Anyways, let's go to it. Okay, so for the Poison Mancer, aka Plaguemancer, we're going to be focusing on the poison tree here. We're going to max our main attack, which is going to be Poison Nova, okay? And our second main attack is also going to be Corpse Explosion. Okay, actually, it's Corpse Explosion. Yeah. So we weaken our enemies with Poison Nova, and then we blow up the whole screen with Corpse Explosion, okay? So keeping corpses is very important with these builds, okay? More important for the Plaguemancer, but also somewhat important for the Boner as well. Okay. So we're gonna max synergies here. Let's just make sure we get our one skill in each. Okay, we're not touching the summon for the Poison Mancer. And then we're gonna get all the utility curses. Just one each, and then low resist. This is gonna be our main curse for the Poison Mancer. And this is why I like the Poison Mancer much more, is because he can use this slow resist, okay? And this will work for poison, okay? Because Conviction Aura actually doesn't work with poison. Actually, the aura only affects fire, cold, and lightning. However, lower resist actually lowers the poison resist of monsters as well, okay? So we max this. It's gonna help our allies out as well immensely, okay? Now, for the other abilities, obviously we're going to max our synergy here, which is Poison Explosion. Really easy. Nothing too complicated with the synergies here. Okay. And also Poison Dagger. This is going to be our last ability that we're going to max, okay? As you can see, we're getting close on the points. And boom, 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 boom. Okay. Level 97, you should be totally complete with this build. There you go. That's our skill setup. A complete skill setup for the Poison Mancer. And we've got our two main attacks here, being Poison Nova and Corpse Explosion. And we also have Poison Explosion, which is kind of fun. It's like a Corpse Explosion, but instead it leaves poison gases on the map for quite a while there. Okay. Now, let's go to the equipment, because these both are going to be using the same equipment, the Poison Mancer and the Bone Mancer. We can just split this into one. But actually, let's just go ahead and show the Boner skills first, since before we jump into this. So I'm going to go ahead and clone this, okay? And we're going to go ahead and show the Bone skills, okay? So for the Bone skills, I'm going to show these first, because I don't want to add all the equipment actually, and then just get plus skills. It's highly confusing. Okay, but for this build, it's going to be one Corpse Explosion, right? But we're going to be maxing our Bone skills, okay? These and this. Okay, these two first are most important, okay? And then, of course, these curses, honestly, since lower resist doesn't affect magic damage, you probably wouldn't even need curses, but it's just nice to have the curses anyways. So I say keep the curses, unless you're really just trying to spare your points. You can go with that, okay? A sacrifice a small amount of damage, but I think it'll be more useful with a well-rounded utility, rather than just being totally max on your damage, okay? Okay, so teeth is going to be maxed. Bone, all these bone abilities are going to be maxed, okay? And these two especially, okay? So I say max Bone Prison first. It's slightly more useful than Bone Wall. It's just your preference really though. And then put in a good amount into Bone Wall, okay? The thing with Bonemancer synergies is he's got like 5 synergies, okay? 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 20 is like 100 already there. So it's tough to get these synergies maxed out. You'll have to be really max level, okay? Which is the goal, I guess, but we'll see. Okay, so for the boner, you can actually pick up a clay golem, a little buddy, a little meat shield for you. You can even get these if you wish, okay? And then buff your little buddy. Of course, summon resist, it's not that important, I guess. Golem mastery, it's nice. I like to give my buddy a little boost, buff him up a little bit, okay? And then, of course, you wouldn't be able to max that, right? You wouldn't be able to max that unless you were to take off all your curses, right? All your golem. Boom. That's all you have. That's all you have. Do you really want that? Do you really just want to be straight on the bone tree like that? I don't know. I think having the utility, maybe putting that into 16 or so, and I think this is more well-rounded. I think this is more fun. You can assist your allies with your curses. You know, you can slow enemies. Of course, if there's a magic immune, you're gonna have to like work out something with Corpse Explosion or have a Merc maybe and use Decrepify or Amp Damage to help your Merc kill things. But that's the problem with the Bonemancer, okay? Is that he whoops. He only has basically magic damage as his main damage, so that's why I prefer the Poisonmancer in the end. Okay? But these will be cloned, and I'm gonna have the skills here for you guys, so just check the tab. And of course my build will be posted in the link below, so you can check that out. Okay? Alright, let's go back to the Poisonmancer here. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, everything else is entirely the same. But as you can see, those small differences in the skills are what make the build different. Okay. So, for the equipment for the Poisonmancer and the Bonemancer, of course, we're going to be going with the Shaco here. And for the socket, well, the socket is actually open. I leave it up to you. It's possible you could put a high rune in there, or a jewel, a P-topaz, whatever you want, okay? High runes, Burr rune, Cham rune, Ist rune, you know, something like that. Now, for the amulet, we're going to go with the Mayor's Kaleidoscope, of course, because it's just such a universally good amulet. For the armor, it's going to be an Enigma, okay, because we're going to be teleporting. You're going to want to try to get that Archon plate for that slow strength requirement, and also being a light armor. Alright, so for the weapon, of course, my favorite weapon, you're going to be using Wisp Spike here. And for the socket, that's another free socket for you. Feel free to put anything you want. Get creative. Okay. So for the shield, we're going to be using a Monarch, Spirit Monarch, of course. And we're going to need to get 35 casts with this one. Definitely. So try to get that high roll on there, okay? Try to get that 35% roll. Just keep re-rolling until you get them. Keep re-rolling. Save all these runes. Save them all. Get a good Monarch. Re-roll. Keep your Hell runes as well to clear your bad rolls out. Okay, for gloves, Actually, for the Necromancer, we're going to be going with the Necro Gloves, of course, because these are going to be boosting our poison damage 25%. Yeah, there's no brainer with the glove choice here. Okay. And then, of course, the cast rate and everything else. Yeah, that's such a good one. Okay. Now, if you are not going to be putting a Cham rune in your Shaco, which is a bit expensive, I know. Yeah, we're going to be using Ravenfrost here, okay, for the Cannot Be Frozen. The Dexterity is also a nice touch, and then, of course, these are nice as well. Mana is always good for spellcasters. Okay. For the belt, we're going to be going with the Arachnid Mesh. Okay, and that's mostly for cast rate. Skills is nice. Mana is nice. Okay. Now for the other ring, this is kind of up to you. You can use a Stone of Jordan if you're feeling like your mana is struggling a bit. But for the Necro, since he's so fragile, I say if you want the life, go with a BK, okay? Because this is going to give you like 40, like almost 50 life here. Well, this is, of course, we're level 99, but it's going to be like a solid 45 plus life, okay? So if you feel like you're not quite as tanky and the Necro is really fragile, I say maybe keep the life, maybe keep a BK rather than an SOJ, okay? For the ring choice here. All right. For the boots, actually, we're going to be using a Sandstorm Trek, and that's because of the hit recovery and the nice strength bonus there, and poison resist. These auto repair, so if you want to go ahead and find an ethereal one, that's going to be your best bet. Okay. So this is looking more complete here with our Boner build here. I mean, this is our Plaguemancer and Boner build. So we got the same gear, same stat, everything. It's gonna be the same. So, okay. For the Plaguemancer here, we're doing the swap for these guys. It's gonna be the same as, again, you just need a spirit. And this one doesn't matter really on the stats. It can be anything here. That's why I'm gonna leave it as 30 just to show you. And ethereal just to signify it's the swap one, right? So it's gonna be our swap, our basic swap, okay? And we'll calculate how much life and whatnot that's gonna be. But first we need to fill out our charms. Alright. So for our charms, whoops. We're gonna definitely need an Annihilus and a torch. Just like always. Necro torch. There we go. And now, one key thing for charms, because we need hit recovery, okay? Unless we're putting like a shale rune in the Shaco, which you don't need that because that's overkill on the hit recovery. But as you can see, we need just a tiny bit more here for the breakpoint. So we're gonna go with, you could get a couple. You would need 11%. So maybe the best thing to do is to get one of these, right? A poison and bone skills, and a 12% faster recovery. Okay, and boom. That's going to push us up through our breakpoint, okay? So this is what I recommend for the charm setup. Any other types of charms would be good for the Necro, you know. Small charm with Vita, right? And maybe even defense. That would be good for the Necro, actually, okay? Or you could even get like some Magic Find charms if you want to try to stack some Magic Find up. Some 7%ers. Those are good as well, okay? Even with like defense, a stalwart of good luck, okay? Something like that. Of course, these are all the best rolls possible. Realistically, you won't expect to be getting perfect rolls on everything. Maybe, right? But we like to see for illustrative purposes here in the planner, the max roll planner. So there we go. All right, now let's calculate the stats here because we want to make sure that we get everything in properly. Okay. So this is our highest piece of equipment to wear. So we want to add a few points into strength. I think we'll need about 25, 30 points into strength in the end, really. With the Ethereal Sandstorm giving us 15 strength here, requiring only 81 strength, we're going to be able to put that on. Okay. And then we would just need a tiny bit more strength. Okay, boom. There we go. That's going to be it. 26 strength here. And then that will be enough to equip the Spirit Monarch. Okay? So, that's what our stats are going to be. And then the rest, dump that into Vitality. Okay? And as you can see, even with like 400 plus points into Vitality, the Necro still only has like 1600 life. Yeah. His life is so pathetic. But that's why we make it up. Okay? And that's why we pick up Call to Arms. Alright. So, let's swap our guy. Okay? And let's cast our special abilities, like Battle Command for the +1, Battle Orders. It's going to give us tons of life, okay, as you can see there. And then we're going to cast Bone Armor with our swap as well, just because it's got a tiny bit of plus skills. Okay, and then boom, switch back. Alright, so as you can see, we've got up to about 2.7k life. That's great. That is what we're looking for. Okay, a 2.5k, anything over 2.5k or so is going to be what you want to aim for. Hardcore builds, that's going to be even more important, but just for general survivability, fun, you know, try to get 2.5k. Okay, as you can see, we got 2.7k here, so we're good. We're pretty good. All right, and as I mentioned earlier, we reached the 6-frame breakpoint for faster hit recovery with our little charm modification here, and then of course with our boots and shield filling in the majority of that, the rest of that. Okay, one other breakpoint we want to look at is the cast rate here. As you can see, we're at the highest cast rate breakpoint for the Necromancer with a 125 cast rate, and that's why it's very important to get the 35% cast rate in your Monarch, okay? Because we want to get that breakpoint. Because we want to teleport like a madman, we want to cast Poison Novas like a madman, and we want to cast Corpse Explosions like a madman. Okay? And our Corpse Explosion is going to be covering the whole screen, alright? Now, our damage is pretty good here with our Poison Nova, our Poison Explosion. We've got some good damage over time. We're going to be cursing them, poisoning them, and then blowing them up. That's going to be our sequence. Okay. So, one thing I want to mention is look at the mana cost here on Corpse Explosion. 50 mana. Okay. So, as you can see, our mana regen is not the highest here either. Wiz Spike helps a little bit with this, but yeah, we're going to need an Insight Mercenary, okay? Just to keep our mana tapped off. And as you can see, our Mercenary is going to be quite helpful in other ways too. So I'm going to go with an Act 2 normal defensive. You could pick a Hell one as well. Whoops, Hell. But I like to start out with normal because they start with the higher base stats, and they're just... I don't know if that's actually still a thing, but all through playing this game, starting with a normal one, they get the higher base stats, life and like strength and things like that. So they'll be able to equip things at a lower level because they have more strength. Anyways, okay. This is going to be a normal setup, really. The only thing that's different is that it's defensive, okay? For the Defiance aura, okay? As you can see, that Defiance Aura is giving us like 5k defense. Okay. We don't want Holy Freeze because we do not want to shatter corpses. So that's why we go with defense here. Alright. So we're going to be going with the Indariel's Visage and Ethereal. Classic setup, right? You go with the Raw Rune to cover that negative fire resist for your Merc. Or get our special jewel here, our special min-maxed jewel. The Ruby fire resist version, Jewel of Fervor. And it's got to be red, of course, to signify the rubiness. Okay. And then we're going to be using our Fortitude Sacred Armor with Ethereal Bugged, okay? If you want to check out how to Ethereal Bug Armors, check out the guide up in the link. And for the item, yeah, it's going to be just an Insight. And this is purely for mana purposes. An Ethereal Giant Thresher here, okay? And this is going to be our weapon for him. He's going to be able to do reasonable damage with Insight because it does actually give like 260%, 200, depending on your roll. You want to hope for the higher roll, but with an Ethereal Elite not Steph, but it's Polearm, right? It's Polearm. So with this, he's going to be doing, he'll be doing enough damage to help you out in tight spots. Okay, so you really want this high meditation aura, and that's going to be to help your mana regen, okay? So, yeah, go Defiance, and there you go. This is going to be our completed build, okay? As you can see, we chose the Merc with Defiance for defenses here, and because we want to keep corpses, because this is one of our main attacks. Alright, so there we go. We've got a good, we've got like 7,000 Poison Nova damage. We've got like Corpse Explosion covering like half the screen, or almost the whole screen. And with Bone Armor, we're going to be absorbing a tiny bit of damage. Especially on the Boner build, he's going to be absorbing much more because he's gonna have Bone Wall and Prison, right? But this is gonna be the completed builds, okay? So thank you guys so much for coming by and checking out the video. I really appreciate all the support. Go ahead and like and subscribe. I really appreciate that. And I will also be making way more builds, and I'm streaming every evening. I'm streaming Diablo 2 Resurrected on YouTube here, so check that out if you're interested. And that's so that I can save all my videos right now, so those will be available on YouTube, and also all my other guides are available. And I think that's everything. So thank you so much for coming by, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.